This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 602. Find Out for Yourself by Ross Enamait of rosstraining.com. And I'm your host and narrator, Dr. Neil Malik. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to Optimal Health Daily, where I read to you from popular health and fitness blogs to help you optimize your health. Now, before we get to today's post, Finn can help you cross off things on your to-do list, like schedule doctor's appointments, pay a parking ticket, email friends for a night out, handle vacation plans, and more. Finn has saved me 10 plus hours per week, and I know it can help you too. That's why I've arranged for all of you to send Finn a couple of requests for free. Just use my link, finn.com/OHD. That's F as in Frank, IN.com/OHD to try Finn for free. finn.com/OHD. And with that, let's get to today's post and start optimizing your life. Find Out for Yourself by Ross Enamait of rosstraining.com. Following the recent post about 100 burpees a day for a year, I noticed several questions that asked how it was possible to recover from such frequent work. I wasn't surprised to see such comments, as they typically follow any post that highlights an approach that is either unusual or defies conventional wisdom. After all, it isn't every day that we run across someone who has performed 100 burpees a day for an entire year. As I think back throughout the blog's history, there have been many stories that elicited similar reactions. For example, I vividly recall when Stefan Engels first announced that he would run a marathon every day for an entire year. The reaction on Facebook was that the 49-year-old man had lost his mind. The keyboard warriors boldly proclaimed that it was physically impossible. A year later, the keyboard clan was nowhere to be found when Stefan Engels was celebrating his 365th consecutive marathon. Similar comments also came in when I highlighted the exercise streak of another 40-plus-year-old woman. I first mentioned Tara Scott several years ago after she had exercised 700 consecutive days. At the time, I recall several comments from readers who concluded that she'd never be able to maintain such frequency without decline. I updated her story in December to highlight 7 consecutive years of exercise. She's now 46 years old and has exercised for over 2,700 consecutive days. Tara continues to thrive and is in better shape than most adults half her age. Find out yourself. And while I could certainly continue with examples, I'm not trying to suggest that you perform burpees each day or train for 7 years straight. As I've mentioned before, several factors must be considered whenever discussing frequency. The ideal training frequency naturally depends on the individual. There is no one-size-fits-all approach that should be forced to the masses. Therefore, I honestly don't know how much work you can handle each day. For instance, I don't know how you will respond to 100 burpees each day. What I do know is that you shouldn't jump to conclusions about things you haven't tried. Far too many people err on the side of caution and never step outside their comfort zone. As soon as things get difficult, these folks automatically assume that the work they are performing is excessive. These individuals fail to comprehend the body's capacity and potential to perform work. Hitting a bump in the road doesn't always mean you need to turn around. If you ever wish to surpass the norm, you'll probably need to ride out a few bumps and bruises along the way. The road to the top is rarely a straight line. Whenever discussing frequency, I often think back to my early days in college. As a student, I worked construction on the side. My boss knew my position was temporary. I wasn't going to continue after graduation. As a result, I was given all the jobs that no one else wanted. I dug holes, moved stones, worked the jackhammer, and swung a sledgehammer. I worked overtime all summer and took as many hours as I could during the school year. I didn't get days off or periodize the time I spent working the 90-pound jackhammer. No one cared if I was tired or sore. There was a job to be done, so that's what I did. When I first started the job, I remember walking into the boxing gym at night like a zombie. My body was worn out after laboring all day, and now I had to train. For the first few weeks, I felt like my legs were stuck in the mud whenever I sparred. My trainer laughed about it. There was no sympathy. I had 2 options, either suck it up or get out of the gym. Fortunately, I stuck it out. As the weeks passed, I began to adapt to the work and ultimately became stronger because of it. My perception about what the body could handle changed forever. 100 burpees will take the average person 10 to 15 minutes to complete. 10 minutes of work is a walk in the park compared to a full day of physical labor under the hot sun. And please note, I don't say this to diminish the significance of performing 100 burpees a day. There is no denying that that is a tremendous accomplishment. When you look at the big picture, however, you notice just how little time is required to perform such a task. Far more people are capable of such feats than most people will ever realize. Unfortunately, many never take the first step to find out. They've already been influenced by someone else who also hasn't performed what he or she dismisses as impossible. In summary, don't be so quick to jump to conclusions about what you can or cannot do. No book or study has been written specifically for you. If you want to know what you can do, it is up to you to find out for yourself. Many of the best lessons I've learned in the gym came from trying things that wouldn't make sense on paper. I had an idea, so I took a chance. Not all of my ideas have panned out, but others allowed me to tap into strength that I wouldn't have otherwise found. You just listened to the post titled, Find Out for Yourself by Ross Enamait of rosstraining.com. And a big thank you again to Finn for their support. I used to be the kind of person who'd forget to do things during the day, only to remember that I didn't do them at the weirdest times, like as I was falling asleep. I'd remember I forgot to make a dentist appointment, that kind of thing. That's why I started using Finn. Finn is available 24/7, 365 days a year. You can find and book service providers to fix things around the house, research finding a new sitter for the kids, and so much more. I was able to schedule a dinner reservation for date night via email without having to worry about anything else. Finn gets to know you like a real human assistant and can take care of all of those little things that always seem to slip your mind. Finn has saved me 10 plus hours per week, and I know it can help you too. That's why I've arranged for all of you to send Finn a couple of requests for free. Just use my link, finn.com/OHD. That's F as in Frank, IN.com/OHD to try Finn for free. Finn.com/OHD. Oof, I cannot stand doing burpees. I'll do them, but not happily, that's for sure. See, for me, 100 burpees each day would never happen. It's just because I hate that exercise so much. But if I chose a movement that I actually didn't mind so much, like maybe pull-ups or chin-ups or push-ups, or even sit-ups, I don't mind those either, I could probably do 100 of those a day. But maybe I just start with 1 a day, or maybe just 5 or 10 a day. But regardless, I agree that 100 burpees is no small feat. Exercising every day is no small feat either. But I agree with Ross that oftentimes we stop because actually our heads kind of get in the way. We often don't push ourselves to go just that little bit further because we're afraid of what might happen. Maybe it'll be painful. Maybe I'll throw up. Maybe I'll pass out. Of course, you want to listen to those cues. But if you're just stopping because you think it's time or time's up, well, consider going a little bit further. Because Ross is right, the body will adapt, but it kind of works the other way too, in that if you keep doing the same thing, well, your body's used to it, and you're not going to receive as many gains as you would if you had pushed yourself just a little bit further. For example, one of the things I hear patients tell me all the time is, well, I'm active at work. I'm always standing at my job, or I'm always walking around and moving. Well, what I have to tell them is, well, your body's used to that. What you need to do now is go above and beyond that. So similar to what Ross was saying with his construction job, his body adapted to both construction work and boxing, and he was stronger for it. So even if you're on your feet a lot for work, let's say, well, your body's used to that. So now you've got to push it in some other way. And so that's why I still encourage patients to follow a more structured exercise routine that helps balance things out a little bit. Yes, it may seem tiring at first. Yes, your body's not going to be used to it, but you know what? That's what's going to lead to growth. All right, that's enough out of me for today. Thank you as always for listening. I can't believe that 602 episodes already. It's all thanks to you. I'll be back here tomorrow for episode 603, where your optimal life awaits.